there's everything in the world today telling me I didn't want to do the 18 miles. Like, that's the furthest I ever went. It was the last, or not the last rep, but my lowest rep speed-wise was going to be the fastest I ever went during it. And, you know, you kind of just got to, you'd be surprised what your body can do for you, you know, if you keep putting in that consistent work.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Bros Think Big podcast. This is the show where we talk about the simple and yet complicated ideas of self-improvement. Alright, tune in and join us as we become the best versions of ourselves so you guys can too. Remember to like and subscribe for more and let us know down below what you want to hear us talk about. Today we got a special guest coming, one of the most athletic men I've ever just seen in general. Come on in here, Bill.
Oh yeah.
Got a great story coming up.
What's up, Russell? What's up? How you doing?
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for coming on.
Yeah.
Alright, Bill, start off. Just let us know about yourself and let us know why you want to be on here.
Alright, let me get this all.
Yeah, get started.
Sorry, fellas. Sorry to the audience.
I have so much I want to tell the audience about your accomplishments, but I'm going to just let you do it. Like, you've done some great
So
shit.
thank you for having me on. It's truly an honor. I'm a big fan of the YouTube and everything you do. The edits are crazy on here, so I want to give you your flowers before I start. And can you just repeat the question?
What made you get on here?
So when you messaged me, I seen a bunch of your previous YouTube videos, and I was like, I can't believe these guys want me on. Like, it was crazy. Like, I was like, you know, I didn't think anyone was that interested. Yeah. Joe Rogan's next, so. Yeah. But that's kind of what got me on here. I was just honored that someone wanted to know my story or how I do things or whatever, and I'm glad to share it with everyone.
And your friend was here previously, Justin?
Yeah, Justin. He's
got his merch on and stuff?
I'm an ambassador for the Relentless J, and that's how I actually got started on you guys. Was he came on and I watched the episode. I was like, dude, these dudes are like official, man. They know what they're doing. So I was just
You made it, guys.
yeah. But that's how I got started on you, and ever since I've just been watching your videos, and you know, I like all the guests you have on and everything, and you know, just the way you guys think and, you know, try things. And
no, we appreciate that, but let's stop flattering us and
That's
stop flattering you.
I mean, for
Tell us a
starters,
little bit about yourself.
great transformation. Absolutely. I mean, your before and after is crazy. Just the work you had to put in for that to even get there.
Yeah.
Nothing but respect. And obviously we'll show the audience as long as you're cool with it.
Yeah,
I don't know why you wouldn't be. You should be showing that shit off.
It's up on Instagram, so anyone could see it.
Yeah,
So
good.
I'm cool with that. But yeah, you know, I was about 225 pounds, and I was at a holiday party one time, right around Christmas, and I was with a bunch of younger people, and I just looked myself in the mirror, and I was like, you know, like, I'm just sick of the way I look and stuff. I remember telling my friend, and he was like, you know, we're older now. Like, these guys are all 20. Like, this is what we look like when we're 20. I was just like, I wasn't having it. Like, I wasn't taking that for an answer. So that's when it started. And, like, you know, as you guys know, during all the holiday parties, like, I was tempted with all this food. And I was just like, nope, I ain't having it. Like, I was so driven and determined to lose that weight. That's how it all started for me. So
Good. And one of my favorite questions to ask anyone that goes through that whole like process and transformation is what flipped the switch? What made you decide? Like, was there like a determining factor that was like, okay, I need to get my shit together after some tragic thing probably happened, or just what flipped the switch in general?
So for me at that time, I was always into fitness, so I always liked going to the gym and stuff, but I was, to be honest, half-assing it. Like, I would go to the gym for like 40 minutes and like kind of like not have set times between reps and stuff like that. And then like I thought because I went to the gym I could eat whatever I wanted, which was far from the truth.
Mm-hmm.
So I remember just being like, I'm dialing in my diet. Like, that's what's happening. Like, I'm eating this. I don't care about anything else. Like, I want to get better. And then, you know, just from going to the gym, I started like actually timing between reps and, you know, like focusing on everything I wanted to do in order to lose the weight and like make gains. So that's kind of how it started, and I just stuck with it every single day. It was just consistency over and over and over again. And you know, it was a lot of hard work, but I thought it paid off.
That's great. And what about what it took you to get into the gym? Like, who was taking care
How
of
it
all
started,
that?
even.
How it started.
Going to the gym.
It's funny, that started in high school. I met, one of my best friends was on the football team.
Mm-hmm.
And he was very strict on his diet and working out, and he was like super strong. And one time I just went with him to the gym, and I was like, oh, okay, like this is what I'm into. So I remember the only two gyms that were really open at the time when I was in high school was like Bally's or LA Fitness. And they were $50 a month. My parents weren't going to pay for that, so I went to Burger King and I got a job there just to pay for a gym membership and a couple subs, you know?
That's great, dude.
amazing.
That is great. Dedication.
Yeah.
Literally the definition of doing whatever it takes.
Yeah, and it's funny because it was like counterproductive. I'd be like eating like French fries and Burger King and then
Oh, that's
like
fucked up.
going to the gym, but you know, I was 15, 16 at the time, so I didn't know any
Yeah,
better,
you're
but
learning.
I just loved the idea of like going and like working out and being around all different people and meeting people and just seeing different ways of doing things, honestly.
That's great.
Mm.
That's
You
great.
you mentioned how you liked going to the gym and stuff, but did you do anything like before you went to gym, like during high school, like any sports or anything in general?
I played sports recreationally. Like I wasn't on any teams or anything like that, but I would always play football or basketball or baseball whenever there was like a pickup game going on. I was always a big fan of sports. So,
Okay.
but I just at that time I didn't have the discipline. I wanted to do what I wanted to do and not go
Yeah.
to practice, which later on kind of paid off because now I try to live by like a disciplined lifestyle, and I'm glad I discovered it now.
That's good. Do you think you having like a desire for playing and just watching sports before going to the gym helped you make that transformation to actually flip the switch and start working on yourself consistently, go to the gym, work out, work on your body?
Hmm. Yeah, I would say so. I mean, I was into that, and then another thing like I like saying now is like how different athletes and stuff, what they do for training and stuff like that, and I was even into that back then. So I would say that it was definitely an inspiration in a way.
That's good.
Mm.
So because you enjoy doing sports, you think it helped you get even better at the gym? Because I personally believe like what you have an interest in and what you truly love to do, you're going to get good at it
Mhm.
because that's what you have the passion for.
Mhm.
If you already have a passion for working out and keeping yourself healthy, then you're going to do essentially exactly what you did
Mhm.
to keep your body healthy and look
Mhm.
like that and make this great transformation.
Hmm. Yeah, it definitely did. Like, it gave me drive. I would say, like, there was when I got to the serious level of wanting, this is what I wanted. Like, I remember, like when I flipped the switch in my head, there was like no food or anything that I would just be like, nah, I don't want it. Like, I'd rather have this because and maybe that's a competitive side in me. Like, I wanted to look good and I wanted to live a healthier, cleaner lifestyle.
That's great. It's
I want to turn the clock a little forward.
Okay.
Right. So you started doing this, and then we heard that you did fall off,
Mm-hmm.
and I kind of want to know where that came from. Because with all success, there's always failures. So
Mhm.
what do you think it came down to?
So it definitely came down to high school with partying and everything like that. Like you get lazy and you kind of lose your focus along the way, and you prioritize other things. So I would say that was a big thing. And then once you let yourself go, you almost kind of justify it to yourself, like, oh well, I'm older now. Like this is kind of what happens, and that's how I kind of fell off, and I got in, kind of a funk of, being lazy. If it was like going to the gym or just like eating or right, like I would just kind of like eat out and not really care, and that's kind of how it's a slippery slope. I know, just about anyone can relate to that because everyone has bumps in their fitness journey. So that was kind of my story to that.
That's great. What advice would you give to people who don't genuinely have an interest in like physical activity, but they're trying to improve on themselves, make sure their body looks better?
I think that if they have the interest in doing that, I would say it's consistency. I would say first thing I would say is stop worrying about the numbers, whether it's lifting wise or weight wise. I mean, I fell into that trap many a times of worrying about numbers, whether it was bench or whatever, and kind of cheating myself out of workouts instead of trying to look at the overall of, you know, you're getting stronger. It doesn't just happen overnight. So even with weight losses, like a lot of people get discouraged in the beginning because like they'll say, oh, in the beginning you gain weight. Well, you know, muscle weighs more than fat. So if you're working out and you're losing fat but gaining muscle, you're going to gain weight. So I wouldn't obsess over the numbers. That would be my advice to people.
That's some great advice. If you care too much about the numbers and how fast it's going to take you, then you're not going to get to your destination.
Yeah, people get discouraged and just quit because they're like, oh, this isn't for me. Like, I can't do this. In reality, you can do it. It's just a matter of the commitment level that you go to in order to get there.
That's great.
Did you ever have like body dysmorphia after the? Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So I would say after I lost all the weight, which was like around 65 to 70 pounds, it was like I would say that I definitely kind of didn't eat enough and different stuff like that because I want my body fat to be the lowest. And, you know, I thought a lot of that had to do with, you know, losing more weight. So I would, you know, I developed bad habits in that way. And I definitely still to a point have body dysmorphia. But, you know, you put in all this work. I'm sure everyone here can relate. You expect these results that you see on social media or something like that. And in reality, they got the perfect lighting and everything like that.
Yeah.
So it's not everyone looks like that 24/7, or like you even look at the Marvel movies or whatever. You don't know what anyone's doing or what they're taking or what they're using, like photo wise.
How many cycles they're on.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So
Yeah.
I would just say, just the funnest part of the whole thing to me was the journey, like starting to lose that weight and seeing it change, because you definitely get to a level where it's a lot harder to see change and different things like that. So I would just say enjoy the journey. Like even if you lose 1 pound or whatever it is, like enjoy that. Like, you know, like, that's an accomplishment. So, you know, don't be afraid to celebrate that.
Yeah, I love that. That's great. And something that I personally dislike about the whole gym industry is you're right. Like what people post, their perfect lighting and they're just not natural.
Perfect edits.
Yeah, shit like that. Like it really does discourage some other people. And in reality, that's not what they're gonna look like in real life most of the time. And I don't mean to discourage the person themselves, because I get it. You worked for that physique, you earned it.
Yeah.
Well done. But I think it comes with a grain of salt. Like when you're trying to influence people, you need to make sure that you're just like giving them these realistic expectations, and you have to give them the right mindset to go into it. You can't be telling them, oh, this is what I look like 24/7. So if you do what I do in a year, this is what you look like too. That's not necessarily true. Like, I think that it's really flawed throughout the whole gym industry.
And the other thing too is like I tell this to people all the time. Genetics play a big role in it. Like it's not just like you're going to work this hard and you're going to look like this person. Like you're going to have better features than them in certain areas, and they're going to have better features than you. Unfortunately for us, and like human, you know, biology is we're always going to look at the stuff they have better than us and want that, opposed to what we already have, you know, which is a blessing.
Yeah. Yeah, human biology works in different ways. Like your
We
body's
don't
not
appreciate the good side we have. We always want the other people's. Like for example, some people, if they don't have good legs, they want the good genetics, but they're not looking at their maybe their chest is good or their biceps are big. So it's like we forget about our good side, and we're always like trying to
We focus on
like,
our flaws.
focus on other.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
I want to go into your specialty,
Okay.
running.
Okay.
beast.
Running, yeah.
Beast.
So
Let's start off saying how many miles you ran today.
So today was my long run. It was 18 miles, and then there's speed paces incorporated in it. So it's like basically like reps. So each mile you have to hit a certain time, and that's how you get faster overall and like build a more like a higher threshold, so you don't go lactic in the middle of your runs. But the funny thing about running in me is I just started running in November, so this is kind of new to me.
What?
Yeah.
I just want to put in perspective, like 18 miles is fucking crazy. Most of you bitches watching right now, you won't even walk 18 miles within a week. Like I think there was actually a statistic I seen, maybe you know about it, but something like most Americans don't even walk a mile a day.
Yeah, it's
That's crazy, bro.
Dude, that is so unhealthy.
What-
Like everyone
what
has.
makes you surprised? I mean,
Well,
we sit
I'm
on
not.
our
I'm not
asses all
surprised
day,
about it at all,
yeah.
especially with how sedentary jobs are. But dude, people just need to get the fuck up. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
What's your take on that?
So like, I want to
Yeah,
say this to anyone that wants to start in cardio or whatever your goal is, whether it's being a triathlete, whether it's like biking or whatever. I didn't just wake up and be able to do this. Like a lot of it, I joke around with people all the time. I'm like, I kind of got here by mistake. Like there was a bunch of steps that were taken that led up to this process. So it's definitely something you have to build up to, and I think that's a big reason why people quit running so early. Like everyone wants to get out and run as fast as possible for as long as possible, and that's just not how it works. It's like anything else in fitness, you have to build up to that.
Yeah.
Some are more gifted than others, but you know, if you think you're going to come out and run a record 5K, you know, just rolling out of bed, that's not how it works.
Yeah.
There's gonna be days where you just can't even run as much as you ran yesterday because maybe you didn't hydrate enough or you
Mhm.
didn't take enough food, the protein, all that kind of stuff. So it all
Exactly.
affects that. It's
I
a very
want
human
to
process.
ask, when you started in November, how many miles could you run? Or let's say, you tell me what was more impressive, how many miles you could run or your pace.
So the funny thing was, like, I was doing cardio leading up to this. So I don't know if this is impressive or not, but I was doing the bike every morning, the elliptical. So I had a cardio base already built up because that has a lot to do with is learning how to breathe, like your heart rate and different things like that. But I was always under the impression that like running was so bad for your knees and your back and stuff, and I didn't do it. So how I got started was me and my fiance, we went to Georgia and we were staying there, and they only had a treadmill in there. I was like, I gotta get it in. So I got on there, and like I was expecting to be like very out of shape. Like I didn't think I was gonna be able to run, you know, as long as I did. So the first day I ran 3 miles, and like I kept upping the pace because I was kind of waiting to like kind of die out, and it never happened. And then after that, it was just like a switch flipped in my head. I was like, I love this, you know, and that's how it worked.
How fast do you run a mile now?
Like, what's my fastest time I ever did?
Yeah,
I think I did one in 5:40, but that was like a
Yeah.
workout. So
because they say like 7 is like the good, right? For
yeah,
one mile?
I mean,
Like, that's what people try to aim.
yeah, I mean, you shouldn't.
I do it in a minute, so is that fast?
Yeah, nah, you gotta work harder.
I'll try.
2 seconds.
7's great though, because I think when I first, that's around right now, like, I wouldn't say, that's like a little bit below my easy pace, but I remember when I first started out and I started running 7-minute miles, I was like, dude, this is sick. Like, I was so pumped about it, and then, you know, it's like anything else, you want more and more and more, so you just keep pushing harder.
I can just see you just smiling.
Yeah. I was like, this is awesome, man.
Are you getting ready for any type of marathons? Anything big?
Mhm.
Or
So,
having plans?
So September 17th, I have a half marathon, and then November
Is that 13 miles? I'm sorry.
13.1.
13.1.
Yeah, and then I think it's November 17th. It's the weekend before Thanksgiving. I have the Philly Marathon I'm doing.
What is that?
26 miles.
What?
What is that like? 26 miles?
Yeah, 26.2.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so.
Is it like?
Christ.
Do you have to qualify for those kind of stuff? Are you
No.
there yet?
So you don't have to qualify for them type of races. My goal right now is to qualify for all the majors in the marathon category. So Boston, New York City, and Chicago are the U.S. ones that I could qualify for.
How do you qualify for them?
So they have qualifying times. Boston, the only way you could get into that is qualifying. That's for my age group. That's 3 hours and 8 minutes. Chicago, you could get in different ways, but the qualifying time for that, I believe, is 2 hours and 58 minutes.
And how many miles?
26.2.
Oh,
And then New York is the hardest. That's under 2 hours and 53 minutes.
What is your record? Have you ran?
I haven't ran the marathon yet. I'm building up to it. So the
I mean,
first.
you ran 18 miles today.
Yeah, well, a lot of it's speed incorporated and
Yeah.
stuff like that. So I'm trying to build my threshold enough to hold a pace for 26.2 miles.
How do you actually? I'm very curious because, you know, everyone. I do weightlifting. We
Yeah.
all do focus on different
Mhm.
things. How do you train for, especially like you said, the threshold?
Okay.
What different workouts? Is it in the gym or do you do like track based, like Usain Bolt type things?
So how it works for me is I have I was fortunate enough my brother-in-law ran cross country at St. Joseph's University, and he would have won the A10 the year that he graduated, but COVID happened and the year got canceled. So he had a year of eligibility, but he wanted to get started in his career and start making money. So he designed this schedule for me, and it built me up to this point now. But it's different mileage. But so typically Sunday's my long run, and there's no stopping in it, and it's strictly, you know, like today is 18 miles, and then I have 11 reps at different speeds I have to hit, and I have to work myself down to. So then Monday and Tuesday are just 5 mile days. Those are recovery runs. Wednesday's another speed workout, and that's usually at the track, and that's like usually focused more on my like 10K pace. And so like this week was 3 miles by 3 reps, so I had to do 3 miles straight at my 10K, which is like around 6 minutes, and then I got like a 2-minute break in between that, so I ran 9 miles at that pace. So that's how you build up being able to run faster and also build your threshold up.
Oh.
Wow.
What's my question is, what's so with the marathon you run, right? Do you get like first place, second place, or is
Yeah.
there like,
So
or how does that even work? I'm so confused.
So there's the way races usually work is there's first, second, and third, and that in the race, and then there's age groups, and male and female. So it'll be like male 20 to 24, or male or female 25 to 29, and it works all the way up till the race I did 2 weeks ago. There was 2 80-year-olds that did it.
What the fuck?
They did it in 30 minutes too.
Was
a
one of their
5K.
names George?
oh yeah, was
Yeah.
it?
Yes, I think that was it.
Oh,
No, I don't know. I was,
oh, dude, we know George. He goes to our gym and
Oh, really?
he runs. Yeah.
Yeah,
So I
well,
was like,
it was not too
probably.
far from here. It was in
Good percent.
Ivy Lane, so it could be him.
Dude, this is
Could
definitely short.
I don't remember.
Oh,
I could look up the name after this.
Yeah,
but,
yeah, we're gonna do that.
Yeah.
They're probably doing abs in between the marathon runs.
But there's a lot of good runners out there. I was quickly humbled last week. I ran a 10K, and I think I finished 16th overall in my age group for male, and I was thinking I was going to do better, and I ran a good race, but there's a lot of fast people out there.
Yeah, dude. Something I love about like every single aspect of life. Like there is leagues to this shit. No matter what. Like even like fucking money. Like once you start, people will hit their 10K month and be like, "Woo, let's go! I'm making it." Motherfuckers gonna walk around with 10K on their wrist. Like there are leagues to like every single aspect. Like bodybuilders, but the only thing
There's
we can
always
do
gonna
is
be
just
someone
strive
better
to
than
be
you.
better. Yeah.
Yeah.
The only thing you can do is strive
And
to
just
be
focus on your personal process and
Exactly.
progress.
Go for yourself.
The one thing about like the humbling experiences like that, don't ever let that get you down. Kind of use that as your motivation and fire to be able to train harder, or even if it's like you said, money related. Like there's always going to be something that sets you back, but you just got to stick with the process. If you're out there working hard, just trust it and keep going with it.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Yeah, you gotta go for it. There's nothing holding you back.
No, and if that's your goal, you gotta remind yourself. Like, big thing I do during runs is like, because over a long run or a fast workout, you'll kind of be questioning yourself, like, why am I even doing this? And it's
I
like
can't imagine.
you just gotta remind yourself of the goal, why you're here, and it's good mental strength building right there, which you can never have enough of.
That's a great question. I want to ask you what works for you. Usually, how I hear in races, or honestly in any context in anything, is when you're really close to the goal, it's really easy, and when you start, it's really easy. But that middle, and especially if it's a long race or a long journey, whatever it is the worst, because it's like why keep going? So what do you tell yourself to like? Are you a guy who says, I'm halfway done? Like when I run, I typically like, I'm a fourth of the way done. That kind of just helps me feel like I'm rewarding
close to
myself
it.
everything. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
like I kind of like mind tricks.
Mm-hmm.
Do you do anything similar?
So, for racing, it's kind of weird, but I'll try to explain it the best way I can. Like, when you're racing, the hardest part is the beginning, because what happens is you start out from your heart rate being rested to jumping up to like 160 to 180 beats per minute. So in the first half of the race, you're like, I just wish a fucking bus would hit me right now, because you're so uncomfortable. But once you ease into that heart rate and you're like, okay, this is where we're at, don't panic, like, you're not going to go lactic, you focus on your breathing and your pace again, and the breathing has a lot to do with it. So, I mean, if you could learn how to breathe, you could learn how to run long distances and fast too.
That's facts. And
What is the breathing? No, he has to tell us.
So,
yeah.
What is the breathing?
So different breathing techniques is, I don't know if you ever read it, but I've seen them on Joe Rogan, and other people have recommended the book for me, but it's called Breath, and that's by James Nestor. And he just focuses on the art of breathing and how, breathing out through your mouth is like one of the most unhealthy things, like, because, you don't get oxygen to your brain and stuff, but they have like different
There's gonna be time where you can't always breathe through the nose.
yeah, there definitely is, like, you lose it, but if you start getting stressed, like, I know, like, I've seen Navy SEALs, they talk about in the book, they do this thing called box breathing with their nose, where it's 4 seconds in, hold for 4 seconds, 4 seconds out, and then hold that for 4 seconds. So that brings down your heart rate for you.
Okay.
But
I do when I run and I get tired, because the way when I do running in the morning, like somewhere around 5 to 10 minutes is the hardest ones, like where my heart needs to get warmed up basically. After that, then it's like I don't even feel like I'm getting tired. You know what I mean? It's that first 10 minutes. For some people, it's first 20 minutes. For some people, it's first 5 minutes. You know what I mean? So for me, it's like first 10 minutes. Then if I see where my heart rate is like fast, I do very deep breaths, like, and then again, and then it slows my heart rate. Then I go again. If I get tired, then I do same thing. You know what I mean? Like for some people, it's through the nose. For me, it's like very deep breaths for like 4 seconds.
yeah, I also,
For
for cardio, I've always told this to people with getting started. Like, I always tell them it's all about surviving the first 15 minutes. Like,
Exactly.
if you could survive the first 15 minutes, your body adjusts and you get used to it almost. But yeah, I know. I was just listening to Andrew Huberman. He was talking about when you're running and you
Great man.
yeah, you get like gassed or whatever. He said if you do 2 quick breaths in through your nose and then breathe out of your mouth, he said you could kind of catch yourself with running.
That's wild.
Question, I think about everyone here at some point had the cramps here, the stomach cramps.
Yeah.
Never in my life. Never. I'm strong like that. No, thank you.
Built different.
Do you still have those?
Nah.
So how do you prevent it?
So
Yeah.
it's funny
I
you
think
say
you can.
that. A lot of cramping issues,
Yeah.
whether
You can.
wherever it's at, is your intake of water. Either you didn't take in enough or you took in too much.
Yep.
So
Exactly, yeah.
that, I know that sounds very strange, taking in too much water, but when I run them long runs or whatever, I focus on like only taking little amounts of water, because if you take too much in, you'll start cramping and you're done after that.
And you start getting like heavier, you know what I mean? Like your stomach just feels
Like
heavy.
bloated.
Right, exactly. So it's really hard for you to carry your body weight through the.
Yeah, it's very
through the-
important to stay hydrated, but you could definitely overhydrate when you're doing cardio.
I also noticed with myself
Yeah, that's what it was.
when I start running, I think it really depends on how do you start. There are some people that start so especially if you're running like a long run, you have to start. For me, I start like super slow, where I have to get myself like my body warmed up. If you start crazy, then it gets very hard at the end. So I feel like that has to do with like when you start running, you have to get used to warming up your body and also breathing. So if you start fast, it's gonna be hard for you to control the breathing. If you start slower, it's gonna be so much easier.
Yeah.
So I feel like you have to really be able to, because in the morning, like a lot of people just go like, I'm running a mile, right?
Yeah.
Or 2 miles. They start fast, so they finish fast. But then after the run, they're like very tired. They get
Yeah.
cramps right here. So you have to really be patient with that too. You know what I mean? You gotta start slow.
I
You
had a
never want
personal
to finish it
experience
fast.
with that. Like
So-
what you
Me
just
too, bro.
said.
In the morning, I just
No.
go like, let me just finish this fast.
It's
Because you're
sad.
you're
Do
energized.
you remember the 5K in 6th grade or something for Welsh? Something we had.
Yeah, I remember.
I was always extremely egotistical, and I just wanted to be first. So I just started sprinting. The first, I would say, I didn't last long, but it just felt nice. I was.
Did you win?
You
first.
won. Yeah.
Did you win?
Well, fuck no.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
I got up. Well, that's why I brought it up.
Yeah.
So the thing
You
is-
started first, but maybe you didn't
Yeah.
last.
Hey, you were in first for a little bit. That's
I
all
know,
that
that's
matters.
my point, like,
I
you
did win an iPad Mini in a
I
raffle.
remember that.
Yeah,
I remember that.
did win an
Makes
iPad.
it worth it then.
Yeah, absolutely.
And, you know, for the
But the
record,
thing is, like,
you should have taken everyone else down with you. 'Cause you're
Yeah.
already there. Just create like a fucking roadblock
Yeah.
or something.
Slip them diuretics right before
like
the
my
race.
point was that people get excited, so they just like try to finish it fast, whether it's a mile or 2 miles or even like if you're running a lot. People start fast and then they just go like, let me just finish this run real quick. And let me get this workout fast. But no, like I think you just got to start off slow, build your way up, and then.
So
you know,
what happens in
running
that
just like that.
instance is, it's funny you brought that up, is like a lot of times you run, unless you're running for speed for whatever purpose it is, whether it's a 5K, 10K or whatever, but they say when you run and you're just running just as a workout, you should be able to talk to someone as you're running the whole entire time. That's how you know what your pace is for that. But what happens is people run so fast out of the gate, and what happens is your lactic acid starts to build up from your heart rate. Your heart can't handle that, and it starts sending the lactic acid to your muscles and stuff like that, and that's why you burn out. Or like I know a lot
It's
of like
lactic acid. I don't know.
lactic acid.
Yeah.
It's what your body produces when your muscles start to give out, and it sends it to your muscles.
Oh, okay. Kind of like
I think
breaking
I'm no
down,
expert
the
or
muscle
doctor or
breaking down,
scientist.
the
What?
muscle breaking down and like
Giving a signal. Is
yeah.
that what it is?
What?
Like when your muscle starts breaking down. that's
Yeah,
when
I
it gives
think
a
it
signal?
sends it to it, and I don't know the exact science to it. I just know when I hit it, it's like I
It just happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and
Okay.
that's what that's the science behind it. My mic off?
No.
Okay. That's what tends to happen. That's why they say that you gotta control your pace, because you go lactic and that's it. You're done. Like I'm sure you guys heard the stories of like people running whatever race and they get to mile 24 of like a marathon, they can't finish because they just went lactic.
They just like stop.
When that happens, like, why? What compels you to stop? Because you know these are some of the most disciplined dudes there are.
Well,
on the 24 miles.
like the professionals and stuff like that won't have that happen. It's more like new people, but that's why you have to
Newbies.
you have to run monitor your heart rate a lot. Like I know for me, getting up in the 190s to 200s, like right around where my body's going to start releasing the lactic acid to my leg muscles.
And when you get the lactic acid, like, what happens? Is it like you get exhausted? Is it more of a
So it makes your legs feel like concrete, and like it's hard to even move them forward. Like it's that your body's shutting down essentially.
Yeah. My question is, how do you guys start with the running? Do you guys start fast and maybe in the middle you guys like slow down a little bit and then fast again at the end? Like how do you
So-
how do you
this
do it?
guy's just a
something
pace
like
beast.
that.
I think
Yeah.
he just sticks with it the whole time.
So
Flash.
my like for like a long run, for example, like my warm up's 4 miles, and that's at any comfortable pace. So after that, that's when I know I have to pick up the paces, and then my last 3 miles are usually like they're even slower than my warm up ones because I'm just dead, you know. But a lot of people, like, that's the thing, the misconception I know about running is like everyone's like, oh, I want to lose weight, I want to do this, but if you run a mile at 10 minutes or a mile at 6 minutes, like you burn the same amount of calories essentially.
Really?
Every mile is like 100 calories right around.
But if you run faster, don't you?
If you
burn
run
more?
faster, you just got done faster.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought he was just like.
I'm
faster
sure
you run,
that's
the
not
more calories you
100%
burn.
factual, but that's what was explained.
No, but I know what you're right.
Yeah.
And
That's
guys,
the
like I
signal.
said earlier, like there are fucking leagues to this shit.
Mm.
Because I'm sitting down and this guy just told me he warms up with 4 fucking miles.
Yeah.
That's
I actually
only
don't
on my
even remember the
wall.
last time I ran 4 miles.
FYI, I run 3 miles. That's
What the fuck? Yeah, clearly. Like, what the fuck? Like I said, there's leagues to this
Yeah,
shit.
like I was gonna say though,
4-mile warm up. Fuck me.
like
And he doesn't even run 4 miles.
Yeah,
That's
goddamn.
for you. That's a warm up.
yeah, so that's kind of how you just build that up and stuff. But like if you just want to start casually running or whatever, don't worry about your speeds. Don't worry about getting faster. Just more or less worry about running for time. Like if you want to run for, just say 35 minutes, run for 35 minutes. Doesn't matter what pace, and that's how you build up your, aerobic base. And then it'll get easier as it goes on.
Question. What
Okay.
is
No, go ahead. I was gonna ask him too.
what is the hardest? I believe the hardest thing for running is actually starting. Because you keep telling yourself, oh, what my legs do hurt.
Mm.
But so how do you surpass that, or necessarily, what would you tell the audience to shut up your fucking emotions, tell them to fuck off?
David Goggins type of shit.
Yeah.
So I heard this. I forget who said it. I'm not going to take credit for it, but I'm pretty sure it was Goggins. But he said, the days that you don't want to do it are the days you need to do it the most.
That's Goggins.
Yeah. So
That's him.
I live by that. Like, there's everything in the world today telling me I didn't want to do the 18 miles. Like, that's the furthest I ever went. It was not the last rep, but my lowest rep speed wise was going to be the fastest I ever went during it. And, you kind of just got to, you'd be surprised what your body can do for you, if you keep putting in that consistent work.
Facts.
Amazing.
Shit.
My
we
question
start
was there anyone famous that inspired you?
That-
With like even working out, running.
Definitely Goggins, man. I can't say enough about that guy. The first time I heard him talk or whatever, I truly believe that guy was enlightened, and he knows something that the rest of us don't know, and we're blessed enough that he shared his story with us. I truly do believe that, because how many people had that mindset before and didn't write a book or whatever, and that information was
Didn't
just
accomplish what he accomplished.
yeah, and that information is so important to be able to control your mind, and when things are uncomfortable, the self-talk to yourself and all of that I can't get over how much that helped me, and I'm sure you guys are the same. You guys are probably inspired by him as well.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Well, why do
My
we
sec-
have speaking on Goggins? I mean,
Wait,
don't
before we get there, my second question is: do you ever want to beat his record with running?
I wouldn't say so. Right now, my goal is to be able to qualify for this. I'll reassess after, but to beat his goal running would be like beating Michael Jordan in 1-on-1. Like,
You gotta have that type
No,
of
I think
hunger.
you
Yeah,
can.
you
gotta
I
have
think
that
you can. I
type of
believe
hunger.
you.
someone will eventually.
Yeah.
Someone
Yeah,
will.
Absolutely.
But
why not you?
what?
Why not you?
Yeah, why not me? You
Exactly.
could
I think it's gonna be you.
but
You gotta get that hunger.
another big inspiration for me. I don't know if you guys ever heard him talk or even know who he is, but do you ever hear about Elliot Kipchoge? So he's like technically right now like the GOAT marathon runner. Like when he has an on day, no one can beat him, and he's won, all of it. But he has all these quotes he has about discipline and stuff like that, and how if you're disciplined, like you're free in life because you cannot be controlled by anyone else, because you're going to do the work, what is required to
No
get
matter
to your
what.
goals. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Discipline is like on top. I mean, I'm sure even with the running,
Mm.
like people have the motivation to run in the morning
Mm.
for a week, and then afterwards it dies because it's hard. You know what I mean? Like waking up in the morning running, and then discipline jumps in, and
I
then
don't think there's
when
one
you're
day
disciplined.
anyone's motivated to run.
I think
I
a
don't
lot of
think
it
Either-
is.
That would
even
make no
losing
sense.
weight, going to the gym, anything you start, like it's your first day, even at a job, right? You work at the first day, first 2 days, maybe first week might be motivating. Like, oh, I gotta go make some money. Afterwards, it dies. Either have discipline, you're to your end goal, or
Yeah.
not.
Yeah, I think
There's
I,
no
I
way-
messed up saying no one. Yeah,
I
feel
think,
like maturity.
With a lot of it too is, I think what I was speaking about earlier is that self-talk, reminding yourself why you're doing this. Like, regardless if it's going to a gym, you guys are all, physically active and stuff. I'm sure you guys have them days where you just don't want to do whatever activity it is, or even with work related situations, but you just gotta do it, and guess what? Sometimes it winds up being easier than you expected. So you got to put yourself in the position first. So
Yeah, I mean, I had the other last week. I ran 2.4 miles in the morning. I don't really run a lot, but and then first 2 laps, I started like cramping right here.
yeah,
I told myself for 10 minutes straight, like nonstop. I was like, you don't feel it, no pain, no pain.
Yeah.
Then I just went through it. Like
Yeah.
it was just crazy how what he can do to your mind. Like it was hurting. It wasn't like fake. You know what I mean? It was really there. For 10 minutes straight, I was just telling myself, you don't feel it, you don't feel it, you don't feel it. I couldn't feel it.
yeah. One thing I try to
Great
do
thing.
with the cramping is like before I go out for a run, I try to at least have two to 3 bottles of water, and like give yourself some time for it to digest. And also go to the bathroom. You don't want to have to go to the bathroom during a run. That sucks. So. But like that is definitely key with it. And like goes back to the old Goggins thing with the 40% rule. I'm sure you guys are all familiar with it, but
40% rule.
I
yeah.
don't think I've heard of it.
He
Maybe
talks
I have.
about the 40% rule. So like essentially our body's like a car. And like you have that governor on the car where it doesn't allow your body or your car to go past a certain speed.
Oh,
So he says when you start getting tired and stuff like that, that you're only 40% of where you can accomplish.
okay.
David Goggins is a go, bro.
Yeah, he is.
We gotta
We gotta
well,
go.
we have Goggins on. We
Yeah.
have to. We like to have our guests talk about the quote of the day.
Okay, quote
read
of the
that right
day, top one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Don't stop when you're tired, stop when you're done. David Goggins.
straight up. I'm sure you can relate to that the most.
Yeah, it's, you definitely want to stop along the way. And, if you push yourself through it, you become mentally stronger. Your body may hurt, but knowing you could do that.
I think that's how
18
you become
miles.
stronger and
Yeah.
stronger every time.
Mhm,
I mean, even the little things. You're about to stop, but you're telling your mind to not stop.
mhm.
It's just where you build up to getting stronger mindset.
And listen, like a lot of with working out, whether it's weightlifting, whether it's cardio, is like you get that dopamine release afterwards after a hard workout, and it feels great. And when you accomplish things you don't think you accomplish, whether it's weightlifting, benching, whatever, and you do accomplish it, it really opens your eyes, to what you're truly capable of.
That's right.
Very well said. Very well said. The shout out, Sash. You wanna go?
Yeah, I get it. Shout out to young guys, young Slav entrepreneurs, like Tyler Dobson one on YouTube. Just to clarify, Slavic entrepreneurs. He's not calling us slaves. Regardless, thank you for the comment. Alright, comment down below what you want to hear us talk about, and regardless, so much more.
Yeah. Bill, we have a little surprise for you. Maybe you're aware of it, but we like to ask 5 questions.
To every guest.
Okay.
Yeah, in the end, just give some advice. So,
Yeah. What is your best advice to somebody in life? One thing you would give them.
I think my best advice, regardless of what it is just set goals for yourself. I don't care if they're realistic, unrealistic, and then just work as hard as you can to them. I mean, that's the best advice I would give to a young person. Don't be discouraged. Don't be worrying about what others are doing on social media because they don't have the same goals as you. So I always hear if you're misunderstood, you're definitely doing your job.
Yeah, facts. You got haters, you're doing it right.
Yep.
yeah.
What is your personal drive? What is it that keeps you going?
My personal drive is I would say that I truly believe lately that this is a gift that you shouldn't let waste physically. So there's people in hospitals, there's people with medical conditions and stuff that would give anything to be able to do what we get to do every day. And I think that's what drives me is that knowing that there'll be a day I can't do this stuff, and I truly believe that I need to take advantage of every second of it right now.
Amazing.
That is one
I
of the
love
best
that.
answers. Yeah, I love
Yeah.
that.
Mhm.
I love that a lot.
Love that.
Also, another inspiration for me is, there's a lot of people in life that believe in you, and you not living to your full potential is kind of a smack in the face to them. So really try and get after it and do your best in life.
Yeah.
That's facts.
What do you value the most in a person? Like, what is the one feature that you just...
Man, I have two. I'll try to
You can say
decide.
two.
Bros, bring them both. Bring
It's
them both.
definitely I would say someone that's very loyal and trustworthy because, you know, that person, you may not like what they have to say to your face, but the second that you leave the room and someone else is talking about you, they're going to have your back.
Facts.
You know, and
Oh, yeah.
you know, if they believe in what you do, they are loyal to you, they're going to follow you no matter what your goal is in life, and they're going to support you along the way. And I've been blessed with a ton of people in my life, I would say, that are that way. So,
Amazing.
mm.
What is like one thing that you see people struggle with in today's society, and how do you think you overcome it?
I definitely think the mental health aspect is one, and I think that everyone wants aren't looking at the right ways to fix it in a way. There's some people that don't put the right foods in their body, their level of activities drastically down. I mean, these are all things that you could do as a start, you know, to try and get that back and not giving up and, you know, just trying to build mental strength that way.
Dude, I personally think that a lot of people need to understand that. I think it's food mostly that's why a lot of people struggle with mental disorder and like
Yeah, nutrition
depression and all
is
that
so
kind of stuff.
key.
I
Like,
feel like it's the key and people don't understand
honestly,
it.
we
They
should
don't
devote a
understand it.
whole another
Yeah.
episode to that because I have
Yeah,
so much to
yeah,
say
that's-
about
it's
that.
really
I'll be
good.
listening because I'm a firm believer in.
Maybe you could be the guest for the
Yeah,
diet.
I don't want to take up all your spots now.
Shit, nah, if you're
Yeah,
down
we
for
want
that,
you
we
No,
will
I
too.
would be glad to help
Like,
you guys out any way you can.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
But so my understanding a lot of mental health, and no way am I an expert, but it's a chemical imbalance in your brain.
Yep.
So if you're lacking somewhere, whether it's, you know, whether you're not getting the right nutrition or whatever, that could be a key factor in
Nutrition and workout. I think
Yeah.
those two combinations, if they're met the right way,
Mhm.
I think your mental problems come
what do they
back, like,
say?
really.
You never see a healthy person like you know, depressed or
Yeah,
whatever.
just
I
don't.
mean, sometimes, but
Michael Phelps. That's
Yeah.
The one, yeah.
Well,
That
yeah, that's true. But
What is-
most.
one. No, so,
Yeah.
yeah.
all right, last and final question.
Okay.
What is one thing that you hear from people frequently that you just disagree with?
I don't think it's like one thing. I think when someone preaches one philosophy, whether it's like diet wise or workout wise, like this is what you have to do to be successful, there's all different roads to success. So I truly believe that, you know, just because, you know, this was successful for you doesn't mean it's going to be successful for you, me, or
Absolutely.
whoever.
Yeah,
And
it does.
I
Yeah,
do
it does.
believe that when people are preaching one way to do it, I don't think that's the case. I think that there's many different ways, and we have to explore them.
I agree. Love that.
Oh, hell no.
You were scared of a bug?
It was a spider. I don't know why you got scared. But
No.
you have, dude. You could be potentially Spider-Man. Come
Yeah.
You just
Or
gave
should
that
I go
up.
back there and take
Yeah.
a bite.
on. Yeah,
Or
take
Spider
it,
Woman.
Put it under your bed.
Yeah.
Spider Woman. You
Yeah.
never know.
There's only Spider.
Yeah.
No, I'm joking.
There's only one.
Alright, well,
Alright, great
regardless,
episode.
I think that was a great episode.
Great
Thank
guest.
you so much for coming on.
Listen, I'll be
Big respect to you with everything you do.
Thank
Give
you.
it abs.
Again, I
Of course.
want to give you guys your flowers because you guys put in a lot of hard work to this, and it was
Where's the flowers?
yeah. They're outside waiting for you.
Alright.
They're like it's awesome to be a fan of the show and then seeing everything that goes into it, meeting the people behind the show. Like that was truly an honor, and I want to thank you guys a lot for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming on.
My pleasure.
Respect.
Anytime.
Thank you for your actions.
Yeah.
Guys, like and subscribe so more of this episodes can be made. All that kind of stuff. We're gonna have them
Yeah.
again, and share this video to a lot of people so they can see this greatness. And yeah, with that, think big,
Grow
grow
big.
big. Peace.
My way to heaven. When I awoke, I spent that on a necklace. I told God I'd be